Today, we're looking at a pink ink by PensBBS, their number 129. Now, as always, there's timestamps down below so you can skip around, but if you've got the time, I'd appreciate you checking out the entire video. If you like pink inks, you'll find a link to that playlist down in the description. If you're new here, hi, I'm Adam, and I'm an ink guy. I get inks, test them, and share the results with you. And if you're not new here, then welcome back. Glad to see you. Now, to keep some of the writing samples standard, the first three are done on Clairfontaine, Tomoe River, and Rhodia dot pad. Let's take a look at the first one, 90 GSM Clairfontaine. No bleeding, no ghosting. We see this is a very, very light. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, no shading. The extra fine is a little lighter than the stub, with no feather spread, halo sheen. Yes, it shades quite a bit because it's so dark it can't help it. Brown starts dark and gets light. Quick goes from light to dark, 6 seconds to dry. Medium is the same tone as the extra fine, with no feather spread, halo sheen. It still shades, thus starts light and gets dark. Quick starts light and gets dark, 8 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show color variation, and we are getting it. In the smear test, you probably can't recover if you smear while you're writing. The second standard paper is 52 GSM Tomoe River. We have no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, or shade. The extra fine is a little lighter than the stub, believe it or not, with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, 10 seconds to dry. I am not enjoying this ink. The medium is the same tone as the extra fine, with no feather spread, halo sheen. Yes, it does have some shade spots. The K in quick is darker than the Q. 12 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both shows no color variation because there is none. And you couldn't recover this if you smeared it, not because it's Tomoe River, because it's so incredibly light. I agree with Vita. There's a lot to learn by doing multiple chromatographies. The one on the left is done the way it's supposed to be done. A line of ink is put down and it's immediately put in the water for 10 to 15 seconds. And we see that that pink has flown way up the paper, but strangely, there is some purple in this pink. I just wish it made it a little darker. The one on the right is let dry for 10 minutes, and there's really no difference between the two of them, meaning I don't expect any kind of resistance here. But that purple being there is kind of interesting. The last writing sample is on 80 GSM Rhodia dot pad. No bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, and no shade. The extra fine is a little lighter than the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen. It does shade. Brown goes from darker to lighter. Quick goes from dark to light to dark. Over goes from light to dark. 7 seconds to dry. Medium is the same tone as the extra fine, with no feather spread, halo sheen. Yes, it shades. Brown goes from from dark to light, so it goes from light to even lighter. Fox goes from really light to kinda light, or light to dark. 8 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both do show color variation. It is in the writing, it's just that all of the variation is too light to use. The scrubby, while you can kind of see it, I don't know if you could recover it if you smeared while you were writing. Resistance tests are done to see how this ink can be expected to perform on the page, and more importantly, how hard it may be to clean from your pen. The smear is allowed to dry for 3 days before testing it. Now, just to start out by pointing out how light this ink is, even in its darkest spots, I can see the dots of the Rhodia dot pad through this swatch. All right, looking at the highlighter, the lowercase h does start to lose some of it at the very top. It lightens up some of the, it brightens up some of the writing. It may be better to use if you were to highlight over and just accept some of the loss. I would not use it in a note-taking situation, not just for the amount of loss that could occur, like the top of that lowercase h, but because it's just too light to read. Water is completely removing it from the page, but the interesting thing that actually occurs is that blue came out and smeared around. That was the most interesting part to me. The same thing happened with the flush. When I put the blue down and went to wipe that away, I got the blue left from the pink. It was shocking. 1/3 bleach solution completely obliterated it. Now you're only going to need water to get this out of your pen. That's all that I needed. For the inks tested, the average viscosity was 2.5, with the realm of normal being from 2.1 to 2.9. PensBBS number 129 has a viscosity of 3.02, making this a very dry ink. For the inks tested, the average dry time was 17 seconds, with the realm of normal being from 13 to 21 seconds. PensBBS number 129 has an average dry time of 9 seconds, making this a very fast drying ink. I decided to cut out the additional writing samples in this case because it's just far too difficult to truly read, and you're going to see that when you see my notes part. So instead of finding inks that look like PensBBS number 129, let's find an ink that complements its color on the page. Being a very light pink, I chose to go with, instead of a blue, more of a turquoise really. I chose Caran Hypnotic Turquoise. So what do I think of PensBBS number 129? This is, without a doubt, too light to reliably use for a full page of writing. As it goes down, it looks like it's fading away. I just don't like this. So what nib and pen will give the best writing experience with this ink? There's no way to go other than like a gusher of an extra fine or fine, just to try and get the tone dark enough to really read. Now, if you do like pale pinks, this would be perfect for you though. I hope you got something out of this video, and tomorrow we're going to take a look at Pelikan Edelstein's Onyx.